Let me tell you something you already know, but are desperately trying to ignore. Your ability to focus is being systematically dismantled, and you're paying for the demolition with your life. You wake up, and the first thing you do is reach for a screen. You fall asleep with a stream of content playing in your ears. Your days are a blur of notifications, half-finished tasks, and endless scrolling. You're constantly busy, but you never actually get anything meaningful done. You're in motion, but you're going nowhere. You've confused activity with achievement. You think answering emails quickly makes you productive. You think attending every meeting makes you valuable. You think consuming endless content makes you informed. But deep down, you know the truth. You know that this constant frantic busyness is just a sophisticated form of avoidance. You're using noise to silence the voice inside you that knows you're meant for more. The world has become a casino designed to steal your attention, and you're the gambler who keeps feeding it coins, hoping for a jackpot that never comes. Every ping, every alert, every notification is a slot machine lever you pull, giving you a tiny hit of dopamine while the house slowly takes everything you have. And what you're losing is irreplaceable. You're losing your time, your potential, your clarity, and your peace. You're scattered. Your mind is a browser with 100 tabs open, and most of them are playing music. You can't think deeply because you never allow yourself a moment of silence. You can't create anything profound because you're always consuming the shallow creations of others. You're living a reactionary life, letting the outside world dictate your inner state, and you wonder why you feel so anxious, so overwhelmed, so powerless. The problem isn't that you're lazy. The problem is that your attention is being hijacked by 1,000 different forces, and you've forgotten that you're the one who's supposed to be in control. You've handed over the keys to your mind to every app, every person, and every trivial demand that shouts the loudest. And now you're sitting in the passenger seat of your own life, wondering why you're not heading in the direction you want to go. You think you're just killing time. You think those minutes on social media, those hours binge-watching, those days spent responding to trivial demands are harmless. But they're not. You're not killing time. You're killing your potential. You're murdering your future self with 1,000 tiny distractions. Let me show you what's really happening. Every time you choose to check your phone instead of working on that important project, you're not just delaying your success. You're training your brain to seek the easy, the novel, the shallow. You're building a neurological pathway that says, when things get hard, escape. You're literally rewiring your mind to be weak. And that weakness compounds. It doesn't just affect one area of your life, it becomes who you are. Think about the last time you had a great idea, a vision for a business, a project, a healthier body. What happened to it? It probably died in the graveyard of good intentions, buried under an avalanche of "I'll do it later." You had the spark, but you lacked the focus to fan it into a flame, so it died, and with it, a little piece of your confidence died too. You started to see yourself as someone who has ideas, but never executes, someone who starts, but never finishes. This is the silent tax of distraction. It's not just the time you waste in the moment, it's the erosion of your self-trust. Every abandoned goal, every unfinished project, every promise you break to yourself is a withdrawal from your psychological bank account. And eventually, you go bankrupt. You stop believing you can do hard things. You stop trusting yourself to follow through. You become a prisoner of your own broken promises. Look at the people around you who are stuck in mediocrity. The ones who are always talking about what they're going to do but never do it. What do they have in common? They are masters of distraction. They are experts in avoidance. They have perfected the art of being busy while accomplishing nothing, and they are miserable. They are suffering from the quiet desperation of knowing they are capable of more, but choosing to stay distracted because it's easier than facing the hard work of becoming. Your distractions are a debt, And the interest on that debt is regret. The regret of looking back 5 years from now and realizing you're in the exact same place. The regret of watching someone else build the business you thought of. The regret of seeing someone else achieve the body you wanted. The regret of knowing that you had the same 24 hours in the day, the same potential, the same opportunities, but you frittered them away on things that didn't matter. The world is designed to make you distracted. It profits from your fragmented attention. But you are the one who pays the ultimate price. You pay with a life of what if, a life of wondering what you could have been if you had just had the courage to focus. If you had just turned off the noise and listened to the quiet voice inside that knew exactly what needed to be done. The cost of avoidance is not just a missed goal, it's a missed life. It's the gap between the person you are and the person you were meant to become. And that gap is filled with the clutter of 1,000 distractions you thought wouldn't matter. But they do. They matter more than you can possibly imagine. So here you are, standing at the crossroads of your attention. And you have a decision to make, a decision that will define the rest of your life. You can continue down the path you're on, the path of scattered focus, of endless consumption, of reacting to every ping and demand, the path that leads to that quiet regret we just talked about. Or you can make a different choice, a harder choice, the choice to become the guardian of your own mind, the choice to focus. But I need you to understand what this really means. This isn't about downloading a productivity app or turning off notifications for an hour. This is a fundamental identity shift. This is about moving from being a consumer of attention to being an investor of attention. A consumer takes whatever is shoved in front of them. They are passive, reactive, and easily manipulated. An investor is deliberate, strategic, and ruthless. They ask one question about every potential distraction. What is the return on my attention? They understand that attention is not just time, it's the currency of your life. It's the raw material from which you build your future, and you are either investing it wisely or wasting it foolishly. There is no middle ground. This is the brutal truth you've been avoiding. Clarity requires elimination. You cannot focus on what matters until you first decide what doesn't matter. And you must decide this with a level of ruthlessness that will feel uncomfortable. You are afraid of missing out. You're afraid of saying no. You're afraid that if you focus on one thing, you'll lose everything else. So you try to hold on to it all. You try to be everywhere, know everything, and do everything. And in the process, you become nothing. You become a mile wide and an inch deep. You become a person of broad trivia and shallow accomplishments. Let me reframe this for you. You're not missing out by saying no to distractions. You're missing out by saying yes to them. You're missing out on your one chance to build something meaningful. You're missing out on the deep satisfaction that comes from mastery. You're missing out on the person you could become if you channeled all that scattered energy into a single, powerful beam. The world doesn't reward you for what you know. It rewards you for what you do with what you know. And you can't do anything significant with fragmented attention. Significant achievement requires sustained, uninterrupted focus. It requires you to say no to 1,000 good things so you can say yes to one great thing. This is the choice you face right now. Option A, the pain of discipline. The discomfort of saying no, the temporary loneliness of going deep, the struggle of building something that matters. Option B, the pain of regret, the anxiety of constant distraction, the permanent emptiness of a life half-lived, the weight of knowing you chose comfort over greatness. You have been choosing option B your entire life because it felt easier in the moment, but you now know the true cost. The bill has come due. So I am going to ask you the most important question you will answer today. What is the one thing that if you focused on it with unwavering intensity for the next 12 months would change everything? That thing, that project, that skill, that relationship, that health goal, that is what matters. Everything else is a distraction in disguise. Your mission, starting now, is to protect that one thing like a lion protects its cubs. You must become ruthless in its defense. Your focus is not just a mental skill, it is a moral imperative. It is your responsibility to your own potential. It is the debt you owe to the future version of yourself who is counting on you to make the right choices today. The era of distraction is over. The time for focus is now. The choice is yours. Let me show you who you are becoming when you choose focus. Let me paint a picture of the person on the other side of this decision. The first thing you'll notice is the silence. Not the silence in the room, but the silence in your mind. The constant mental chatter, the anxiety about what you're missing, the guilt about what you're not doing, it all fades away. It's replaced by a deep, resonant calm, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing exactly where you're going and what you need to do next. You stop feeling pulled in 100 different directions because you've finally chosen one direction and committed to it. This person, this focused version of you, doesn't rush. They don't frantically check their phone between tasks. They don't have that panicked look in their eyes of someone who's always behind. They move with purpose. Every action is intentional. When they work deeply. When they rest completely. There's no guilt, no divided attention. They understand that presence is the ultimate superpower. Your energy will transform. Right now, your energy is being leaked through 1,000 tiny holes, endless tabs, notifications, half-thoughts. When you focus, you plug those leaks. All that mental and emotional energy that was being wasted on distraction gets channeled into creation. You'll find yourself with reserves of power you didn't know you had. Tasks that used to drain you will become sources of energy because you'll be fully engaged in them. You'll experience what psychologists call flow state regularly. Those magical moments where time disappears and you become one with your work. Your confidence will undergo a fundamental shift. Not the loud, arrogant confidence of someone who's pretending, but the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who knows they can produce results. This confidence doesn't come from positive thinking or affirmations. It comes from evidence. From looking at your life and seeing projects completed, skills mastered, goals achieved. Every time you finish a deep work session, every time you resist a distraction, every time you make progress on what matters, you're depositing evidence into your confidence account. And that account compounds faster than any financial investment you'll ever make. The quality of your work will become exceptional. While everyone else is producing shallow, hurried work filled with errors and half-baked ideas, your work will stand out like a diamond in a pile of gravel. You'll have the space to think deeply, to iterate, to refine. You'll see connections others miss because your mind isn't cluttered with trivialities. In a world that rewards speed, focused work makes you valuable because you produce what's rare: quality, depth, and insight. Your relationships will deepen. When you're with someone, you'll actually be with them, not halfway present while thinking about emails or social media. People will feel seen and heard by you in a way they rarely experience in this distracted world. Your conversations will have weight and meaning. You'll remember details. You'll follow up. You'll become someone people trust because they know when they have your attention, they have all of it. Decision fatigue, that mental exhaustion from making countless trivial choices throughout the day, will vanish. When you're focused, your priorities are clear. You have a filter for decision-making. Does this move me toward what matters? Decisions become easy, almost automatic. You stop wasting mental energy on what to wear, what to eat, what to watch, and conserve it for what actually matters. You'll develop what the ancients called arete, excellence of character. Focus isn't just about productivity, it's a moral discipline. Every time you choose focus over distraction, you're strengthening your willpower. You're building integrity with yourself. You're proving that your word to yourself means something. This integrity spills over into every area of your life. You become more honest, more reliable, more disciplined, not because you're trying to be, but because that's who you are becoming through the daily practice of focus. The focused, you doesn't complain about being busy. They're too productive for that. They don't make excuses about not having time. They understand that you don't find time for what matters. You make time by eliminating everything that doesn't. The focused you is generous with their expertise, but protective of their attention. They've learned to say no with grace and conviction. Second command, the morning war. Your first 90 minutes upon waking will be sacred. No phone, no email, no news, no external input. This time belongs to your most important work. This is when you will work on that one thing we identified. You will protect this time like your life depends on it, because it does. If you have to wake up at 5 a.m. to get this time, you wake up at 5 a.m. If you have to tell your family not to disturb you, you tell them. This isn't selfish. It's essential. The quality of your morning determines the quality of your day, and the quality of your days determines the quality of your life. Third command, the single tasking vow. You will stop multitasking forever. It's a lie. It doesn't exist. What you call multitasking is actually task switching, and it comes with a cognitive penalty every time you switch. From this moment forward, you will do one thing at a time. When you're working, you work. When you're eating, you eat. When you're talking to someone, you look them in the eye and listen. You will work in focus blocks of 90-120 minutes, followed by genuine breaks. During these blocks, all notifications are off, your phone is in another room, and your entire being is dedicated to one task. Fourth command, the environment overhaul. You will redesign your environment to make focus easy and distraction difficult. Unplug the television and put it in a closet for 30 days. Set up website blockers on your computer for distracting sites during work hours. Create a dedicated workspace that signals to your brain. This is where deep work happens. Make your environment so conducive to focus that it requires willpower to be distracted, not willpower to focus. Fifth command, the stop doing list. You will create a stop doing list. Most people have to-do lists that are endless sources of anxiety. Your stop doing list will be your declaration of independence. On it, you will write, stop checking email first thing in the morning. And stop saying yes to things that don't matter. Stop keeping your phone on your desk. Stop attending meetings without a clear purpose. Like stop consuming news all day. Stop trying to know everything about everything. Post this list where you can see it every day. Sixth command, the notification annihilation. Every single notification on every device that isn't from a human being trying to reach you urgently must be turned off. Every like, every comment, every news alert, every app update, gone. You will check these things on your schedule at designated times, not when they demand your attention. Your attention is a throne, and you've been letting beggars and thieves sit on it. It's time to reclaim your throne. Seventh command, the weekly review. Every Sunday night, you will spend 1 hour answering these 3 questions. 1. What did I accomplish on my one thing this week? 2. What were my biggest distractions and time wasters? 3. What one change can I make next week to be even more focused? This isn't planning, it's course correcting. It's holding yourself accountable. 8th command, the distraction journal. Carry a small notebook or use a notes app for one specific purpose, to capture distracting thoughts. When you're in a focus block and a thought pops into your head, I need to buy groceries. I should call so-and-so. I wonder what's happening with... You write it down and immediately return to your task. You're not suppressing the thought, you're deferring it. This clears your mental RAM and allows you to maintain focus. 9th command, the hardest first. You will always do the most important and most difficult task first, not after you check email, not after you have your coffee. First, your willpower is highest in the morning. Use it on what matters most, not on what's easiest. 10th command, the accountability declaration. You will tell one person, someone who will not let you off the hook, what your one thing is and what you're committing to do. You will give them permission to ask you the hard question, did you do your deep work today? This external accountability creates a cost to failure that your internal promises lack. I know what you're thinking. This is too extreme. I can't do that. What will people think? I need my phone for work. These are the excuses of your old identity, the distracted identity, fighting for survival. Let me be clear. If you're not willing to take these steps, you don't actually want to focus. You just like the idea of it. You're enjoying the comfort of distraction too much to let it go. But if you're serious, you will start today. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. Right now, I want you to put this down and delete one social media app from your phone. Do it. I'll wait. Did you do it? Or did you skip over that command? That single action, deleting one app, is more telling than any promise you could make. It's a physical declaration that you're serious. These commands are not suggestions. They are prescriptions for a disease that's killing your potential. You wouldn't take half your antibiotics because the full dose feels like too much. You take the full dose because you want to get well. Your focus is sick. These are the medicines. Take them all. The pain of implementing these commands is temporary. The pain of continuing your distracted life is permanent. You've already experienced the latter. Isn't it time to try something different? Your new life of focus begins not with a thought, but with an action. It begins with you taking one of these commands and executing it right now. What are you waiting for? Now we must go deeper, because focus isn't just a productivity technique. It's a philosophical stance. It's a rebellion against the fundamental sickness of our time. What we're really talking about here is the art of living versus the art of existing. Most people are merely existing, passing through life as spectators, collecting experiences like souvenirs, but never digging deep enough to find meaning. Focus is what transforms existence into life. It's the difference between skimming the surface and plumbing the depths. Think about this. You will die. I will die. Everyone reading this will die. This isn't morbid, it's liberating. Your time is the one truly non-renewable resource. Once this moment is gone, it's gone forever. And yet you're spending these precious, irreplaceable moments scrolling through pictures of someone else's vacation, arguing with strangers online, consuming content that leaves no mark on your soul. This isn't just wasteful, it's a philosophical tragedy. The ancient Stoics understood this better than we do. They practiced memento mori, remembering that you will die, not as a morbid fixation, but as a focusing tool. When you genuinely internalize your mortality, trivialities lose their power over you. You stop caring about most of what fills the average person's day because you see it for what it is. Background noise on the way to the grave. Focus is how you cheat death, not by living longer, but by living deeper, by squeezing more meaning, more impact, more aliveness into the years you have. A focused life of 50 years contains more life than a distracted existence of 80 years. It's not the length of the timeline that matters, it's the depth of the line. There's a fundamental law of the universe at play here. Energy flows where attention goes. What you focus on expands. What you ignore withers. This is true for your relationships, your skills, your business, your inner peace. You are quite literally, through the act of attention, participating in the creation of your reality. When you scatter your attention, you create a scattered reality, a life of shallow connections, half-learned skills, and mediocre results. When you focus your attention, you create a focused reality, a life of depth, mastery, and meaning. This is why distraction is so evil. It's not just stealing your time, it's sabotaging your reality creation mechanism. It's ensuring you build a weak, fragmented world for yourself. Let me give you another philosophical truth. Suffering is inevitable, but chosen suffering is redemptive. You will suffer either way. You will suffer the pain of discipline, or the pain of regret. You will suffer the discomfort of saying no to distractions or the agony of saying yes to a life of mediocrity. Focus is simply choosing which form of suffering you prefer. It's choosing the pain that builds you over the pain that breaks you. In a culture that worships comfort, this sounds insane. But the greatest minds in history, from Buddha to Nietzsche, understood that meaning is found not in avoiding suffering, but in choosing what you're willing to suffer for. What are you willing to suffer for? For the shallow approval of strangers online, for the temporary numbness of entertainment, or for the deep satisfaction of creating something that matters? Here's another uncomfortable truth. Focus requires exclusion. To focus on one thing means to ignore everything else, and this feels like a loss to the distracted mind. But what if I told you that this exclusion is the path to true freedom? That by voluntarily choosing to ignore 99% of what's happening, you gain sovereignty over your own mind? The person who tries to pay attention to everything is a slave to everything. The person who focuses on one thing is free. This is the paradox of focus. By limiting your options, you expand your power. By saying no to 1,000 possibilities, you make one possibility real. The artist who uses every color creates mud. The artist who uses one color with mastery creates a masterpiece. Your life is your canvas. Are you creating mud or a masterpiece? Your attention is your love. What you pay attention to, you love. When you pay attention to trivialities, you're declaring your love for trivial things. When you pay attention to what matters, you're practicing love for what matters. Every time you check your phone during time with loved ones, you're saying, with your actions, that the phone deserves some of your love too. Every time you work deeply on something important, you're loving your potential into existence. Finally, focus is your answer to the absurdity of existence. In a universe that doesn't care, in a world that often seems meaningless, focus is how you create meaning. It's how you take the raw material of your life and sculpt it into something that matters to you. Viktor Frankl, surviving the Holocaust, discovered that those who found meaning even in hell were the ones who survived. They focused on something beyond their suffering, a loved one, a future goal, a purpose. Your ability to focus is your ability to generate meaning in a world that won't provide it for you. So don't see focus as a hack. See it as your philosophical stand. See it as your rebellion against the void. See it as your way of carving meaning from the marble of existence. Every moment of deep focus is a declaration. This matters. I matter. My life is not accidental. This is it, the final crossroads, the moment where everything we've discussed crystallizes into a single, undeniable choice that will echo through the rest of your life. You have been given the diagnosis. You have seen the cost of your distraction. You have been shown the path to focus. You have been given the exact commands to execute. You now understand the profound philosophical stakes. There is nothing left to learn. There is only everything left to do. The universe is not waiting for you to feel ready. Opportunities are not patiently standing by until you finish scrolling. Your potential is not frozen in time, preserved for some future date when you finally decide to get serious. Every second you spend distracted is a second your potential is decaying. It is atrophying from lack of use. The muscle of your focus is weakening with every notification you obey, with every tab you open, with every moment you choose the trivial over the important. Let me be brutally clear. There is no later. Later is the favorite word of the distracted, the mantra of the mediocre. Later is the lie you tell yourself to make the pain of inaction feel temporary. But later always arrives, and when it does, it's called now, and you're still the same distracted person, just with more regret. You have one life, one single, precious, unpredictable, and finite life, and you are spending it right now. You are spending it either on what matters or on what doesn't. There is no neutral, there is no pause button. You are either investing your life or wasting it, and the market is always open. So I am going to ask you the question that will define your destiny. What is your life about? Is it about likes? Is it about comments? Is it about keeping up with the endless stream of trivial information? Is it about being mildly informed about everything and master of nothing? Is it about being busy without being productive? Is it about being connected but never truly connecting? Or is your life about something else? Is it about building something that outlives you? Is it about mastering a craft so deeply that it becomes an extension of your soul? Is it about having relationships so present and so deep that they become legends in your family? Is it about cultivating a mind so calm and so focused that no external chaos can shake it? Is it about living with such intention that when you reach the end, you can say, I chose this, I built this, I lived this? The distracted life is a default life. It's a life that happens to you. The focused life is a designed life. It's a life that happens because of you. You have been playing a game you cannot win. The game of distraction is rigged. The house always wins. You will never be the best scroller, the most informed news consumer, the fastest email responder. That game is designed to drain you, not to fulfill you. It's time to leave the casino. It's time to stop feeding your coins into the slot machine of other people's agendas. It's time to walk out into the fresh air and start building your own monument. Your monument won't be made of stone. It will be made of moments. Moments of intense focus. Moments of difficult choices. Moments of saying no to the good so you could say yes to the great. It will be built with the bricks of early mornings and the mortar of deep work. It will be sealed with the sweat of your concentration. And one day, you will look at this monument, this life you built with your own focused attention, and you will feel a pride so deep it transcends words. You will know in your bones that you did not waste your one wild and precious life. The time for waiting is over. The time for excuses is finished. The time for someday is dead. The time for focus is now. Not in an hour, not tomorrow, not after you check one more thing. Right now. This is your awakening. This is your call to arms. This is your moment of reckoning. From this day forward, you will no longer be a slave to distraction. You will be a master of focus. You will be a warrior of attention. You will be an artist of your own life. When you feel the pull of the trivial, you will remember the weight of regret. When you feel the discomfort of deep work, you will remember the agony of mediocrity. When you want to quit, you will remember the person you are destined to become. You are the guardian of your mind. You are the curator of your attention. You are the author of your life story. Make it a story worth telling. Make it a story of focus. Make it a story that matters. The world is loud, be quiet. The world is scattered, be focused. The world is shallow, go deep. Your life is waiting. Begin.